At Unicity, our fundamental belief is that the human body, regardless of size, shape, or ability, is a precious gift. Our bodies enable us to enjoy this world. They help us grow and gain knowledge and understanding, which enrich our individual lives and our communities. Learning to discipline and care for our bodies is also a gift that results not only in better health, but also instills greater confidence in all aspects of our lives. I'm not talking about the false confidence that comes from looking good or feeling like you're better than other people, but rather the authentic confidence that comes from knowing that you are in control of yourself and from living with a sense of awareness and gratitude for the gifts that you've been given. Today, we're facing a health crisis unlike any the world has ever seen before. Throughout history, epidemics and famine have threatened human life many times. But today's crisis is caused by a very surprising and less mysterious source, the modern diet. Unfortunately, so many of us today, even sometimes those who look healthy, are living far beneath their privileges and missing out on the blessings of a life lived with an energetic body and mind. Perhaps the most tragic side effect of today's health crisis isn't that we have less years in our lives, it's that we have less life in our years. Not being functionally healthy during the years that you do live, simply because of a lack of knowledge or discipline in certain areas, now that's sad. The good news is that all of this entire epidemic is completely reversible on an individual and a collective level. However, reversing a downward trend isn't easy. It takes people working together with cutting-edge science, sound nutritional principles, and a state-of-the-art support system. At Unicity, we have worked very hard to build the products, the nutritional principles, and the structural process that make optimal health accessible to millions of people. We have witnessed again and again the marvelous health transformations that are possible when our products and our programs are connected with a person who really wants to be vibrantly healthy. So as we introduce people to Unicity, let's remember, we don't exist as a company just to sell more products or programs. We exist to make life better, to help the world understand that seeking good health is not just a nice thing to do. It is a duty worthy of our best efforts. Seeking good health helps us build self-mastery and discipline, and these positive attributes spill over into all aspects of our lives. And if done by enough people in enough places, our societies will be improved and strengthened in important and lasting ways. That's what we believe. And it's why we go to the lengths that we do to create products, education, and support systems that change lives for the better.
So, welcome, guten Abend, willkommen, bonsoir et bienvenue à cet événement. It's my pleasure to welcome you tonight. My name is Didier Schlucht. I'm responsible for the sales and marketing here at Unicity Europe. We have a great event for you tonight. And let me start with a few information. As this event is happening in multiple languages. Donc, cet événement est en plusieurs langues, en français, en allemand et en anglais. Dieses Event ist ja in verschiedenen Sprachen, auf Deutsch, auf Französisch und auf Englisch. Und ihr habt alle die Möglichkeit, das zu ändern. Unten seht ihr so eine kleine Weltkugel, wo ihr das ändern könnt. Vous voyez ici en bas, vous pouvez changer la langue. You can see here at the bottom, you can change the language. So, please take a time to find your right language, and we have a translation offered for you. This is the same on your phone as well as on your computer. So let me explain to you what's going to happen tonight. And it was pretty interesting to listen to our CEO, Stuart. He was talking about a difficult situation, right? This video is a few years old. And it was explaining what happens around us and what we can do and how you and I can help others to have a better life. And this is my challenge for you tonight, This training that we offer is for you to get information to share with other people. But the most important is not the amount of information that you're going to get, but the most important is for you to go out and speak with other people, to give them a chance to try these great products. Most likely, most of you have a drink ready. Here you can see I have my matcha and my super green today. I assume the same for you. And so let me go into now the program for tonight. Sorry, I'm changing a few screens, so I need to make sure my mouse is in the right place. So we're going to talk first about one of our top 5 best-selling items here in Europe, which is Matcha Energy. And for that, we're going to have a great presentation from Leila in Morocco. And she's going to do that for us in English. Then we're going to talk about metabolic health, well-being from Dr. Erin Glynn. You most likely heard her about 6 months ago, or a quarter ago, 3 months ago, where we talked about a different topic. And I'm super thankful that she is here to take this time to explain to us from the side of Unicity in the development side of our products. Then as a diamond talk, we're going to hear from my good friend Stefan Angehrn. He's going to talk to us about our life and how we shouldn't waste it and we should do the best out of it. And at the end, I'll round this all up with a little bit of information about what has been in the newsletter. I would like you to know what we're doing from our side and for you to go back and to get all of these informations. We are striving to do the best for you, to give you the best information for you, so you can use that information to help other people and hopefully for you to feel more confident. So without any stopping here, let me see if I can stop. Somebody's drawing on my screen and it's a bit silly, but it's okay otherwise. Oh, good. Let me just go back. Sorry, I was clicking on something. So let me introduce to you our good friend Leila. Leila is a great person. She's a doctor living in Morocco, and she's doing the product registration for us in Morocco and in Africa. And she has been willing to help us here in Europe with this presentation. She will give you a bit of a background about that great product, which is Matcha Energy, and how this product can bring you to the fast lane. So please welcome with me with a big round of applause, our dear friend, Leila Darsa. So welcome, Leila. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Didier, and thank you for your introduction. Thank you so much. Hope that we will have a nice training today. Hello, everybody. Okay, I'm so excited because we will talk in the few coming minutes about a great products, amazing products from Unicity. It's, let's say, science-based product developed by Unicity to make our days and our life better, okay? You might have heard about matcha in general, and matcha is the principal ingredient of this product, Matcha Energy. So please bring me to go over some history of matcha and some reported traditional uses and benefits. It's said, or it's known, that the powdered green tea matcha have been originated in China. It's known overseas that matcha, it's the green tea or the Japanese green tea, but actually the truth, it was originated in China, and especially with the Chinese Zen Buddhist. They used to consume this tea to get clear mind, to be more centered and get focused during their meditations. And not only the monks, there were also the warriors. They saw exceptional benefits by drinking this tea. So they got at that time sustained energy and mental acuity. In the 12th century, matcha powdered green tea became popular and were brought to Japan by a monk named Izai. And since then, it has been a part of Japanese culture for over 800 years. The truth that the Japanese perfected the farming techniques of matcha, and they, let's say, during several centuries, they became certainly the leaders, or let's say the experts of matcha. It was some history about the origin of matcha. Okay, what about the benefits and uses at that time? We all know, we have heard that green tea is touted to be one of the healthiest beverages on the planet. Okay, so the beneficial effects of the green tea are well known and have been proven by science research. The ancient Japanese people discovered the positive effect on health gained from drinking matcha. They noticed that the consumption of matcha was producing amazing benefits because of the some interesting of the hundreds or numbers, let's say, bioactive components in matcha. We can see there in this slide, we can see some of those benefits. We see first alertness, clarity, and focus. And it was related, all those, let's say, cognitive functions or cognitive benefits, they are due to the caffeine properties. We have also, the matcha is loaded of antioxidants, and especially polyphenols and catechins. Catechins are amazing ingredient. And these compounds, or let's say these nutrients, are very, they act, or they allow to get a good function, brain function, let's say. And it was found that matcha contains up to 3 times more antioxidant than other high quality green tea. So it's very good. I have another property, which is a relaxation. We have alertness, clarity, focus, mental acuity, energy, and we have also relaxing properties. And they were attributed to the content of L-theanine, which is a natural amino acid. Okay. We had just a look, or a quick look, on the history of matcha, the origin and the benefits by the ancient Japanese, which are actually the experts of matcha. Okay, let's talk about our matcha, our Unicity, amazing, our Unicity Matcha Energy, but in numbers this time. Unicity Matcha is sold over 13 countries with 4 different item codes. We have 5 countries, which the sales are very high. It's in Korea, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, and USA. And we have increased the sales increased by 17% between July 2019 and July 2020. Okay, we are talking about Unicity Matcha Energy. Let's discover together the composition of Unicity Matcha. Okay, what we have here, we have 3 ingredients, 3 main ingredients. We have first Shioka Matcha. What is Shioka Matcha? Shioka Matcha, it's Unicity exclusive blend of high quality green tea. I repeat, Shioka Matcha, it's an exclusive Unicity blend of high quality green tea. It's an amazing creature I will see before, and what it was discovered by the Japanese and the Chinese before them. the monk, the Chinese monk before them, that it's a creature or amazing creature of the nature. It's loaded with bioactive compounds. We have also guarana and we have yerba mate. Such a great composition. Okay, we are talking about the principal ingredients and what are the bioactive nutrients we have in this product. What are the key nutrients? First, we are going for the vitamins in this product, included in this product, this amazing product. We have vitamin C and B vitamins. Okay, those vitamins are a key components, are a vital components, let's say. We have the B vitamins with a lot of, let's say, we have some benefits related to those vitamins, okay? We have vitamin B1, which contribute to normal mental function. We have the niacin, vitamin B3, which contribute to reduction of fatigue, of tiredness, okay? We have pantothenic acid, which it's the vitamin B5, and we have also a normal, or let's say, contribute to a good mental performance. So we should have the performance. When we are talking about performance, we are talking about sustained energy, okay? So we have less fatigue, we have more energy, we have a good brain function or good mental function, okay, with the B vitamins. There's another point, it's not reflected on the slide, but it's important to talk about too, that every single second in our body, it's performing over 10,000 different classes of chemical reactions, okay? Number of these reactions is happening in where the ATP energy is produced, okay? This situ is the mitochondria, okay? The mitochondria is the power plant of the cells. It helps to produce energy, the ATP energy, the cellular energy we need, so that the body can function properly. So let's see again. We have different reactions, chemical reactions. Those reactions are happening in the mitochondria. The mitochondria is producing energy. And what is the role of my B vitamins? The role of my B vitamins, it's acting like cofactors, okay? What does it mean? It means that they act with the enzymes that catalyzes those reactions in the mitochondria. So my B vitamins I have here in the Unicity Matcha Energy, it's helping to get a mitochondrial cellular energy. I have on another side vitamin C, which is supporting my immune system and protecting my cells also. Okay, other great ingredients in Unicity Matcha Energy: caffeine, theophylline. We all know caffeine is very popular, also the theophylline. There are stimulant compounds. We found them in many foods, and we found them in coffee and tea. And by the way, the matcha is containing less caffeine than a coffee, but more caffeine than a standard green tea or standard tea, let's say, okay? And they have effects on cognition and alertness. So we are talking again about an effect on our cognitive functions. So we have to stimulate our nervous system, and the caffeine with the theophylline, they have like it's a kind of synergy action. So they act both at the same time to get or to promote a good function or brain function, okay? They are slowly absorbed. We will talk about this point regarding the absorption later on. They are slowly absorbed and broken down by the body. So we have, let's say, sustained long-term energy during all the day. So we will not face any low in our performances, okay? I have another ingredient there, L-carnitine, natural amino acid. And with this ingredients or key nutrients, let's say, I have an additional action related to the mitochondria. We talked about the role of the B vitamins in the mitochondria and how they help to get cellular energy. The same with carnitine. The carnitine is acting or is transporting the long chain fatty acids I need to get energy. So in this case, I will have an additional effect on my production of energy. Okay, we have a quick look on the composition, the ingredients I have, the key nutrients, and how they work. So how I will use my matcha energy. I can use it on different ways, let's say. So I can take it, I can pour my sachets in water and drink it simply, or I can add it in my complete vanilla, and I can get a delicious beverage for the breakfast. I also can have a cold refreshment, adding ice to my matcha. The best time to drink matcha energy. Actually, there is two things. I can get it in the morning as a breakfast. If I add it to my complete vanilla, I can also get it in the morning to get my energy, to boost my energy. So I put it in my water and I get it as a drink to get my energy, let's say. And before a workout, also it could help. It could help and it could work as a healthy energy drink. Okay, why should I use Unicity Matcha Energy? That is the real point. That is a point. Oh, that is a point. Okay, what does it mean? I have Unicity Matcha Energy. It contains Unicity Shioka Matcha Premium Quality Blend of purified matcha green tea produced in Japan. In the beginning of the training, we talked about the origin of matcha and how the Japanese people get the expertise on matcha. Okay, what Unicity did, it's Unicity established an institute in Japan. It's a matcha research institute. Actually, this institute, to get benefit from all the expertise and all the knowledge the Japanese has on matcha, and we can ensure that we can have a high quality matcha in the industry. In the Unicity or in the matcha research Unicity, the leaf or the green tea leaf, the origin of matcha, is controlled since the beginning, since the cultivation. We are controlling the fertilizer used. The whole tea leaf is harvested at the right time. It's slowly ground at the low temperature. It's preserved adequately so we can maintain the highest amount or the highest percentage of the active compounds we talked about earlier. Thus, the processing of matcha is a key point about the quality of matcha. So I got a premium quality blend of matcha from all this process, from all this Unicity process, okay? Then after, I have a caffeine. I have a natural caffeine in Unicity Matcha. Okay, I talked about the caffeine and theophylline earlier, that they are slowly absorbed. Actually, because it's known, or it was proven by science, that the caffeine from natural source, has, let's say, absorption and distribution profile quite different or quite better than a product with caffeine from a synthetic source. The natural caffeine gave more general energy response with no crashes. Unicity Matcha Energy has much less sugar than standard energy drink, which means Matcha Energy or Unicity Matcha Energy, it's a good option, or it's the healthier option as an energy drink. I have Unicity Matcha improves focus and helps you concentrate. We see that because of all the bioactive compounds in this product, the B vitamins, the matcha itself, it's an amazing creature of the nature, and other components too. Unicity Matcha Energy features high level of antioxidants, polyphenols, catechins, amazing ingredients for enhancement of mood, for enhancement of function or brain function. And sure, Unicity is loaded in B vitamins and vitamin C. Okay, what is the conclusion of that? It was brief, but we should keep in mind an important thing. We need energy. We all need energy. We are having a fast-paced lifestyle. We have a lot of things to do. We need natural energy, and this natural energy is we can have the guarantee to get this natural energy from my Unicity Matcha Energy. So what we should keep, it's that Unicity Matcha Energy is more than a simple energy drink. It's a vital product, including amazing nutrients. And it's a comprehensive product rather than just a single-use product. So we need to be top at work. We need to be the best ourselves with our family, with our friends. So we need Unicity Matcha Energy for that. For the athletes, to get results, to get outcomes, to get the energy they need to do their trainings or to optimal training results. So we need our Unicity Matcha Energy. So we need to change our life. The aim of Unicity and product of Unicity is making life better. So let's our days full of energy and better. And so let's change our drink. Let's go for Unicity Matcha Energy. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Leila. I think, do you remember that correctly? It's
sorry.
The first time you're doing a presentation in English with us, is that correct?
Yeah.
So thank you so much. It was amazing to have you with us. And for those who don't know, Leila, I met her about a week ago. She's a very energetic person and speaks, 5-6 different languages. So thank you so much for also doing this presentation with us in English.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Didier.
So I want to show you a few other things that we have prepared for you to use right here and right now. So if you go to the library from Unicity, you will find that we have updated all the fact sheets in French, German, and English. We have also prepared a brochure. And as you can see here, we have about 3 different roll-up banners if you want to use that in your offices to promote this amazing product. We have more items. We have right now this promotion, and that's the same thing pretty much every month. This month is a bit special because the Matcha Energy will last 2 months. So the product of the month will be for the month of July and the month of August. If you purchase 3, you will receive 1 for free. So please make use of this promotion. Then we have prepared 2 videos for you as well. This is a short video for Instagram. I think it's about 10 seconds long that you can use and share. This video is not branded with Unicity. It's always reflecting the people back to you, asking them to get back to you and contact the person who shared that with you. And there is a bit of a longer one. It's a square format. I'll show you the English version right now. But if you go back to our newsletter, and I'll show it a bit later on in the presentation, you will see we've created a platform where you can go to and download all those videos for you to share. And I know from Instagram it's pretty easy, right? You download the video, you can add some text on it, so you can use that as a tool. So let me share the first video. And as a quick reminder, all those 3 videos, I'm showing the English one today, but all those 3 videos are in French, German, and I mean, those 2 videos in French, German, English, those 3 languages, sorry. So here we go, the first one. All right, click here.
Matcha is more than just tea. This special green tea has long been a part of the traditional Japanese tea ceremony. The Chioka matcha used for Matcha Energy is cultivated in the shade and grows much slower. This elaborate cultivation method significantly increases the nutrient of the tea leaf. You will feel the difference with every sip. Matcha tea leaves aren't steeped in water, but are ground to a fine powder and dissolved in the tea water. Thus, every sip of Matcha Energy gives you all nutrients contained in the leaf: chlorophyll, antioxidants, and numerous vitamins. Its numerous nutrients help to stimulate the metabolism and ensures that you stay fit and focused. This makes Matcha Energy perfect for athletes who need a healthy energy drink for strenuous workouts and optimal training results. Unicity Matcha.
All right, and here the second one, the short video for Instagram. So as you can see, we really tried to give you the tools for you to share those wonderful products with other people. So this is all, should be all uploaded right now, will be uploaded later tonight to this site that I'll share with you later on Swivel. That's kind of the link with Unicity. So right now, our main goal, as you've heard, is to help others to feel, to live, and to look better, and therefore to make life better. And for that, we have our next speaker, and I'm really excited to introduce to you Dr. Erin Glynn, that's joined us about 2 years ago. Dr. Erin Glynn has done a bachelor degree in exercise psychology from the Texas A&M University, and she has received a doctorate in biomedical science from the University of Texas Medicals. But she has also done a postdoctoral fellowship at the Duke University, and her focus was on the metabolic profiling of conditions like obesity and diabetes. So what we're going to talk about tonight and what you're going to present to us tonight is going to be awesome, because it's exactly in the area where Unicity is making kind of a great study and moving forward with metabolic health. So here, please welcome with me, Dr. Erin Glynn, if the slides would work. Here we go. So welcome.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here with you this evening. Can you see my screen?
Yes, all good. Thank you for being here.
Okay, wonderful. Let's get started. So I am here to talk to you this evening about metabolic health and what that means to us here at Unicity. At Unicity, we are driven by the belief that we can make life better for people around the world by providing the information and the tools that they need for their own personal journey to greater physical health and well-being. And as part of the Unicity team, Unicity Science, which encompasses our research and development team, is dedicated to developing these innovative science-based products and programs that promote metabolic health. Dysregulated metabolism is at the core of numerous health issues. So things like obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, certain cancers, all of these at their core are a function of dysregulated metabolism. And we know that these diseases cause so much unneeded suffering in our world. which really makes metabolic health as a whole one of the greatest public health concerns of our time. At Unicity, we believe that by focusing our products and our programs specifically on metabolic health, we have a chance to make the greatest difference in our world. So before we go any further into the presentation, let's talk about what metabolic health means. When we think about metabolism, it's not just one body system or one process that we're talking about. Often people think of digestion or energy balance or fat burning when they talk about metabolism. But really, metabolism encompasses all those things and more. Metabolism represents the millions of life-sustaining chemical reactions that we have going on in our body every minute. And in order for our body to perform at its best, for us to be metabolically healthy, all of those reactions really have to be balanced, have to be working together. And if one system or one set of reactions is out of whack, that can mess up our entire metabolic system. So I like to use the analogy of a car when we're talking about metabolism to people. The car has so many different parts: the engine, the fuel tank, the tires, the body of the car. They all have to work together for that car to run properly, for it to be functioning optimally. And similarly, our body's systems that are involved in metabolism, these are just a few, but the endocrine system, digestive, immune, cardiovascular, muscular, nervous system, all of these are involved in metabolism and all must be working together, functioning optimally for us to have good metabolic health. So metabolic health is this idea that all of these systems are functioning properly and together, but in real terms, what we see that as in human health are things like healthy blood sugar levels, healthy blood lipids, healthy blood pressure, and body composition. These are kind of the outputs of that healthy metabolism that we have going on in the body. So it's easy, hopefully, to see that analogy with the car, and maybe you can use that as you talk to people about metabolism. And when we don't take care of our machine, they get run down, they don't work as well. You can also think of that like the car, right? The food and the drinks that we're putting into our bodies are like gasoline and oil that you would put into a car. When we eat high sugar, low nutrient foods as the fuel for our bodies, our metabolic engine stops functioning properly. And as a result, our metabolic health suffers. If you imagine a lack of physical activity or exercise, kind of like never performing maintenance on a car, you can imagine then how that car would react over time. It gets run down. It doesn't work as well. And this is also what happens to our bodies. Most of us know some simple things or habits that we can do to improve our metabolic health. Things like eating a healthier diet and aiming to get physical activity every day. So what is keeping us from these practices? It's kind of like what Stuart mentioned in his opening video, right? Well, poor diet and lack of exercise can make us feel a lack of energy, which creates a further barrier to action. So if you pair this low energy with the stress of everyday life, that can lead to disturbances in sleep. We have daily environmental pollution that our bodies have to deal with, and even over-medication that we have in our modern societies. This combination of factors is a real recipe for disaster for our metabolisms. And we see the results of this cycle represented in the global obesity pandemic that we have going on right now. In fact, today, most deaths are not caused by infectious disease or accidents, but by lifestyle or metabolic diseases that are largely within our control. So according to the American Heart Association, an estimated 80% of cardiovascular disease, which includes heart disease and stroke, is preventable. 80% of that, those events that happen with cardiovascular disease are preventable. Diabetes has entered the top 10 causes of death for the first time ever. And Alzheimer's disease, which is sometimes unofficially referred to as type 3 diabetes or diabetes of the brain, have skyrocketed. So many of these causes of death have something in common in terms of their root cause. And it's called insulin. So some of us hear the word insulin and we automatically think of diabetes. But insulin is involved in a lot of things in our bodies. It's the hormone that's responsible for getting glucose or sugar from your blood into your cells to be used for energy by your body. So when we eat or drink anything that has carbohydrates or sugar in them, our blood sugar goes up, and then insulin is released in order to help your cells get that sugar into them to be used for energy. So when we're in a constant cycle of high blood sugar and high insulin, eventually our bodies can become resistant to the effects of that insulin. And over time, this thing that we call insulin resistance can really wreak havoc on many of your body's systems. And it's associated with a lot of health conditions that we have listed here. So we see that insulin can have a significant impact on our health, but to understand how we can take better control of that, we have to understand further how metabolism works. So let's review the different fuel types our body can use. There are three main types of nutrients in food, and these are called the macronutrients. They are carbohydrates, or we often call them carbs for short, fats, and protein. And these first two, carbohydrates and fats, are mainly what our body uses for fuel. Now here I'm showing a picture of what we consider bad carbohydrates, right? Those simple sugars, things that are highly processed. But there are also good carbohydrates, and I just want to note that, and I think you know that, but things that we call complex carbohydrates that have fiber along with them, things like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, these that contain fiber are still carbohydrates, but they are a little bit harder for your body to digest, so they don't impact blood sugar as much as these simple carbohydrates. We also have fats. Now, fats can also be healthy or unhealthy, and we want to make sure we're choosing healthy fats through our diet, things like vegetable oils and avocado, things listed in this picture. As you can see, some nuts. These are considered mono and polyunsaturated fatty acids, and these are the healthy kind. We want to avoid things like saturated fats and trans fatty acids that we find in more processed foods. And lastly, we have protein. Protein is found in all sorts of things from fish, meat, eggs, seeds, legumes, and it's a really important building block for our bodies. So it builds muscles, it builds other proteins in our bodies, hormones, enzymes. However, we don't use protein for energy very much. So the main energy sources are those first two, carbs and fats. So to think about this again in an analogy, I like to use this example. We have our two main sources of fuel, carbohydrates and fat, and we're born to be able to use both of these types of fuel and switch between the two pretty efficiently. And this concept is called metabolic flexibility, the ability to switch between those two fuel sources. So you can think of the fuel in our body like this tanker truck. We have a limited ability to store carbohydrates or sugar as fuel. So it's kind of like this smaller gas tank that fuels the tanker itself. We have a much larger capacity to store fat as fuel in our body. So this would be like this huge container on the back that's carrying fuel, but the truck can't access that, right? It's just transporting it. Most of us are running like this truck. We use that small tank of carbohydrate as the energy source for our bodies. And we have to constantly be refueling it with glucose, with carbs to keep our bodies going. But what if we could access this large amount of fuel on the back, that fat reserve? This is what we want for our bodies, to be able to use both sources of fuel and switch between the two. So what is keeping us from being able to utilize that fat for fuel? The answer here again is insulin. So insulin provides the signal to our bodies about which fuel source to use. In the most basic terms, when insulin is high, we're using carbohydrates for energy. And when insulin is low, we're using fat for energy. So this chart shows a basic pattern that many of us follow during the day. When we wake up in the morning, we are likely using fat as fuel because we're in a fasted state. We haven't eaten since the day before, right? But as soon as we have food or drink, maybe a sugary cup of coffee or a bowl of cereal, our insulin is going to spike up in response to that carbohydrate or sugar. And now we're out of that fat burning zone and we're burning carbohydrate for fuel. Now, if we're not snacking between meals, we start to come back down on that insulin and maybe we get a little bit back into the fat burning zone, but then we eat lunch and it spikes right back up again. The main takeaway from this slide is that the less our insulin spikes or increases, the more time that we'll spend in that fat burning zone, the fat fueled state, and that's where we want to focus on trying to be. So how can we apply this concept to our everyday lives to help with glucose and insulin levels? Well, this is where the Unicity nutrition principles come in. And these principles were designed to be simple and easy to follow. So they are: first, control carbs; second, fuel with fats; and third, prioritize protein. So those three macronutrients we just talked about. We know we get our energy from the first two, carbohydrates and fat, right? Well, those simple carbohydrates, refined carbohydrates, we know those cause an increase in our blood sugar and our insulin when we eat them. On the other hand, consuming healthy fat does not spike blood sugar levels. So when you have a choice between simple carbohydrates or healthy fats, you want to focus on fueling your body more with the healthy fats and minimizing those simple refined carbohydrates. For step 3, prioritize protein. This just basically means you want to think about getting protein at each meal, at each eating occasion. Often people skip protein in the morning at breakfast, but we're missing out on a few things that protein does. One, it provides the building blocks, amino acids that we need to build many of those things in our body. I already mentioned the muscle, hormones, enzymes, immune components. But protein is also the most satiating of those 3 macronutrients. So it will keep you full longer and help you stick to your goals, especially if you are on a weight control, weight management plan. One nutrient we haven't mentioned yet is fiber. And fiber is a type of carbohydrate, but our bodies are not able to digest fiber, so it passes through our system mostly unabsorbed. And one of the key benefits of fiber is that it can blunt the effects of those simple carbohydrates or sugars on blood glucose and insulin levels. So if we look at this left graph here, when we eat a meal that's high in carbohydrates, let's say a breakfast pastry with coffee, has some sugar in it, we're going to get that rapid rise in blood sugar, which causes the release of insulin. The insulin helps that sugar get into our cells to be used, but what happens after that is instead of your glucose returning to a normal level, which is represented by that dotted line, your baseline, when we get a big spike in blood sugar, often we also get a crash in blood sugar, which means our blood sugar falls below our normal baseline. And when it does that, that can create some negative symptoms as well. So things like feeling lightheaded or irritable, tired, those things happen when our blood sugar is a little bit lower than normal. And that can happen when you come off of a big glucose spike. Okay, on the other side, we have what happens if you add some fiber before a meal that contains carbohydrates. So this might be taking that fiber 5 to 10 minutes before your meal. And you'll see there's still a rise in blood sugar and insulin. We're not going to prevent that rise. But what it does is it creates a lower and slower rise in glucose and insulin. This helps your body avoid that crash that we saw in example 1. And it also gives your body a more sustained, steady energy throughout the day than the sugar roller coaster we see on the other side. So this is the only time I'll mention Unicity products here, but we have several fiber products that we promote in this way, Bio7 and Balance. Taking them 5 to 10 minutes before a meal can help create this scenario on the right-hand side more so than the left. So one way we keep our insulin levels in check and promote that metabolic flexibility is to follow the Unicity nutrition principles we just discussed. And this includes using fiber as part of the strategy to control the effect of carbohydrates on glucose and insulin. Another important way we can do this is by increasing the space between our meals and allowing our body to maintain that lower level of insulin for longer periods of time. And at Unicity, we call this the 4-4-12 rule. 4-4-12 is kind of a form of intermittent fasting, which just means that you're going for some period of time without eating food. For example, we already talked about your fasting from the time you finish dinner at night to the time you wake up and eat again the next day. And that's usually maybe 10 to 12 hours of fasting. This gives your body a chance to what we call rest and digest. It just is giving it a chance to get back down to those low insulin levels and to a fat burning state. So in this 4-4-12 example, we are recommending that you wait at least 4 hours between the time you eat breakfast or your first meal of the day until you eat lunch or your second time. And then we also want you to wait 4 hours from when you eat lunch to when you eat dinner. And that's just a minimum. It can be longer than that, 4 to 6 hours, anywhere in there. And this is without snacking. So you're giving your body that chance to come back down from the glucose and insulin response to eating food. The 12 hours then refers to that time between the end of dinner and the time you eat again the next day. And again, if you can extend that out longer, up to 16 hours, great. That would be what we're going for, longer periods of time where you're not consuming food and you let your body rest. The practice of intermittent fasting, or going without food for controlled periods of time has been extensively researched, and studies show that this practice can help maintain healthier blood glucose and cholesterol levels. It can lower blood pressure and improve heart health and body composition, just to name a few. What we use to fuel our bodies and the maintenance that we perform on our machine in the form of that physical activity and personal care are what drive our metabolic health. But I want to spend a few minutes addressing a few other factors that are intricately related to metabolic health. Now, I know Dr. Grant was here on your last call, and he gave a presentation about gut health. And I think a few points from that gut health talk are worth repeating here. We know that what we eat has a major influence on the health of two major systems in our bodies, our gut health, or GI, gastrointestinal system, and our immune system. And these two systems are incredibly intertwined, and that's because 80% of the cells of our immune system live in our guts. So by taking care of our digestive health, we're also taking care of our immune system. And one of the reasons that the gut and the immune system are so intertwined, other than that most of the immune system lives in the gut, is this thing called the microbiome. The microbiome are microorganisms, which are fungi, viruses, bacteria that live on and in our bodies. And these microorganisms are an integral part of our metabolism and our gut health. They live in such close proximity to those immune cells that they're also highly involved in both the development of the immune system from childhood on, all the way to the current functioning of our immune system. This is very simplistic, okay, but we have both good and bad bacteria that live in our gut, and they compete against each other for resources in the gut. Now, when we're healthy, our good bacteria kind of outweigh or keep the bad bacteria in check. When we're unhealthy, or when maybe we're not eating the best diet, those bad bacteria can become out of balance. And this results in many effects on the body that we'll discuss in a moment. So eating that unhealthy diet that we showed before, those processed, simple carbohydrate foods, this creates an environment in a gut where those bad bacteria can thrive. And so we want to avoid that by eating a healthier diet, plenty of fiber. This supports healthy bacteria and a good balance between the good and the bad. So I'm not exactly sure what all Dr. Grant covered, but I think he probably talked about all of the ways that the microbiome is involved in functions of the body. It's not just gut health and immune health. It really kind of controls so many different parts of our bodies. So it can help us digest the fibers that we eat. And actually, a lot of fiber feed the microbiome, like we're feeding those good bacteria I mentioned. They can also synthesize vitamins and neurotransmitters. They play an important role in the immune system, as we already discussed, and everything else that you see listed here. The gut-brain axis has a lot of research activity going on as well. So you see that what we eat, it not only fuels our metabolism and how we're choosing our fuel source between fat and carbohydrates, but it fuels our gut microbiome. And when we make unhealthy choices for our metabolism, we're making those same choices for our gut health. We already mentioned gut health and immune health are very tightly linked. So you can see it's all very intertwined, and that's why it's so important that we really focus on optimal metabolic health, because all of your body systems are affected by these choices. Lastly, I want to briefly discuss this link between poor metabolic health and immunity. So we have recently seen how important maintaining metabolic health is with the COVID-19 pandemic. All of the scientific data that I have seen suggests that people who are less metabolically healthy are at higher risk of death and hospitalizations than healthy people. So people always are asking me, how do Unicity products help with immunity, especially during COVID? And obviously we cannot say that any of our products cure COVID or prevent COVID. But while we do have several products that are immune-specific support, really, in my mind, the way that we support immune health at Unicity is through supporting metabolic health. So by helping people achieve better metabolic health or maintaining that healthy metabolism they already have, that is how we're really supporting immunity in the long term. When your body is functioning better, all of it together, your immune system is stronger. Oops. So in closing, I would like to thank you for having me and listening this evening. I hope that you walk away with a little more knowledge about simple actions that you can follow, those Unicity nutrition principles, starting to practice 4-4-12 if you're not already doing that, and how that is going to contribute to better metabolic health and why. How controlling our carbohydrates and their effect on blood sugar and insulin, choosing those complex carbs over simple carbs, choosing to fuel with fat. These are the things I want you to think about and focus on. And importantly, how maintaining and improving our metabolic health is important, not just for metabolism, but for all of our body's systems, especially the digestive and immune. So thank you again. I will turn it back over at this point.
Thank you very much, Dr. Glynn, for your presentation, for the time, for being with us. I know you made quite a few people happy. I could see from the faces around us with your presentation. Thank you so much. So we're going to go to our next presentation, and we're going to switch languages right now, and we're going to switch topic as well. What you've heard so far is to give you knowledge for you to feel confident to go out and talk about those wonderful products, right? And now we want to give you a bit more information how you can use that yourself as a person, more on the personal development. And you're going to learn great insights from somebody that has built his business of Unicity here in Europe, but has also gone through some, for me, kind of harsh way of being on the top of what he's doing. A pro boxer that is there and changed his life to become somebody that is helping other people to make life better, and that with a big heart and helping many other people to feel confident in what they do after a sports career, now working here in Switzerland. So please welcome with us our diamond from Switzerland, Stefan Angehrn. Guten Abend, Stefan. Hoi.
Hoi.
Jetzt geht's los auf Deutsch. Danke, dass du dabei bist. Danke für deine Vorbereitungen auch für heute Abend.
Wichtig ist, dass du einen Assistenten hast.
So, let's go.
So. Wunderschönen guten Abend, welcome, bonsoir. Danke vielmals für diese großartigen Parts über Matcha und über Metabolic Health. Ich liebe es, und auch wenn es um Business geht, First Point, trink die Produkte überall, so oft du kannst, so viel du kannst, hat so viele Gründe für Gesundheit und auch für dein Business. Ich möchte heute dich mit auf eine Reise nehmen, und zwar auf meine Reise, und ich möchte gerne dich animieren, dass du daraus deine Reise ab heute neu definierst. Ich bin Boxer und ich bin, das geht gerade nicht. Ja, und ich bin nicht, es ist gegangen, Schatz, ich bin nicht zimperlich. Ich werde dich nicht mit Samthandschuhen anfassen, sondern ich sage es ganz gerne, wie es ist, weil ich einfach glaube, es nützt dich gar nichts. Du hast ein einziges Leben. Die meisten Menschen, die hier auf diesem Planeten sind, denen ist das nicht bewusst. Sie leben es nicht für sich, sie leben es für andere. Ich darf so sprechen, denn ich habe die Weltspitze erreicht in meinem Sport. Ich bin Nummer 1 der Weltrangliste geworden. Und wie das geht, was das mit dir zu tun haben könnte, was das mit Network Marketing zu tun haben könnte, da schauen wir jetzt mal rein. Und zwar, ich möchte dich abholen, als du ein Teenager warst. Zwischen Primarschule rum, so um diese Zeit. Jung, wild, voller Träume. Und ich würde mich sehr freuen, wenn du dich jetzt zurückerinnerst und mir mal in den Chat reinschreibst, wie warst du so? Was war lustig? Was hast du gemacht? Schreib mal in den Chat rein, was damals toll war, cool war. Dinge, die man einfach damals gemacht hat, machen konnte, die anders waren wie heute. Das hier auf dem Motorrad, auf dem Mofa, das bin ich. Das war ich, glaube ich, 13 oder 14. Ich war als Junge eben schon sehr groß. Aber ja, ich glaube, ich musste 14 gewesen sein, sonst dürfte man mit diesem tollen Renngefährt nicht fahren in diesem Alter. Wie warst du damals?
Sport, Lebensfreude, jeden Tag beim Fußball, Freiheit.
Wunderbar. Ich höre so viele schöne Sachen, die damals einfach Realität waren. Du hattest Freude, du hattest Spaß, du hattest viele Träume und Mädels, ja klar. Und du hattest, oder Jungs, und du hattest vor allem dir einfach jede Menge Zeit für dich rausgenommen, und zwar jede freie Minute. Wenn ich mich an mich zurückerinnere, wir waren tagelang, nächtelang im Wald und sind erst zurück, wenn es zu dunkel war. Zu Hause haben wir Ärger bekommen, weil wir früher hätten zu Hause sein, es hat nie was gemacht. Wir haben diese komischen Baumstücke geraucht, die man anzünden konnte. Ich weiß nicht, wie das auf Hochdeutsch heißen könnte. Bei uns hieß das Nielen. Weiß nicht, ne? Aber einfach, wir hatten ohne Ende Spaß. Wir haben Fußball gespielt, wir haben Ski gefahren, wir haben Streiche gemacht. Wir waren einfach voller Energie. Und meine Frage jetzt ist einfach die, was hat das Leben aus uns gemacht bis heute? Was hat das Leben aus dir gemacht? Wie konnte es so weit kommen, wie es heute ist? Wie sieht dein Leben heute aus im Vergleich zu dem Leben, das du damals hattest, wo du voller Power, voller Energie, voller Träume, Wünsche, Ziele und einfach glücklich warst? Natürlich, wir sind in einem System aufgewachsen, wo man uns gesagt hat, so muss es sein, das ist der Weg, das ist die Regel, alle machen das so, das ist das Beste für dich, haben alle Eltern gesagt, du sollst noch besser sein wie der Nachbar, sei gut in der Schule, sei nicht frech, bei uns in der Schweiz sagt man, sei still, sei leise. Und das Resultat heute, ich weiß nicht genau, wie alt du gezielt jetzt bist. Wir haben ja die ganze Bandbreite an Menschen, die heute hier zuhören. Aber ich kann dir eins sagen, bei 9 von 10, die jetzt dabei sind, ist es heute nicht so lustig wie damals. Du hast dir selber ein Lebensgefängnis gebaut, in dem du dich bewegst, du rennst da drin rum und eigentlich redest du dir schön, wie toll es ist. Und wenn man dir aber jetzt 10 Millionen geben würde, von heute auf morgen, dann würdest du mit großer Chance übermorgen nicht mehr das Gleiche machen wie jetzt. Und genau darüber möchte ich sprechen. Macht das, was du jetzt machst, genauso viel Spaß wie damals? Hast du nach wie vor jede Menge Zeit, wie das eigentlich sein sollte? Dein Leben, dein einziges, was du hast, sollte dir so viel wie möglich Zeit geben, zu leben. Was hast du dir für ein Leben aufgebaut heute? Es ist ja so, dass alles gut ist, alles freiwillig, jeder darf, keiner muss. Hier haben wir hier 4 verschiedene Typen, wie es sein könnte. Sehr viele Menschen, das Bild natürlich links ist ein bisschen ein extremes Bild, aber in unserem Land, selbst in der reichen Schweiz, leben Zehntausende an der Armutsgrenze, wahrscheinlich Hunderttausende an der Armutsgrenze, die das nie zugeben würden, weil sie sich schämen. Dann die große Masse, das meiste von allen, 60%, 65% leben im Hamsterrad und rennen und rennen und rennen und rennen, weil man ihnen gesagt hat, es sei so richtig. Für was machen sie das? Sie machen das, damit ihre Familie, ihre Lieben, sie selber gut überleben können. Überleben können. Stell dir das mal vor, ja? Du lebst, um zu überleben. Mit dem großartigen Highlight, 2 Wochen Ferien im Winter, 2 Wochen Ferien im Sommer, ab und zu ein paar Feiertage. Vielleicht bekommst du noch einen 13., wenn du Glück hast. Aber ich kann dir eines sagen, der nächste Leben im gehobenen Mittelstand, da ist es schon sehr viel besser. Und von 2 zu 3 ist gar nicht so schwierig, darüber sprechen wir nachher gleich. Und das Schönste wäre ja eigentlich ein Leben in Reichtum. Hier Sir Richard Branson, einer, der bestimmt für viele, viele, viele Menschen ein Vorbild ist, auch für dich sein könnte. Wer hat alles gemacht, was man machen kann, hat alle seine Träume verwirklicht. Ein hart arbeitender Mann, ein intelligenter Mann, ein Visionär, der jetzt gerade seinen eigenen großen Traum sich erfüllt hat und mit der Rakete ins Universum geflogen ist. Vor 2, 3 Tagen ist er ins Universum geflogen, irgendwo hoch hinauf und wieder runter. Und das verkauft er jetzt, glaube ich, für $250.000. Könntest du einmal mitfliegen. So habe ich das verstanden. Warum nicht? Es gibt Leute, die werden das machen. Jetzt die Frage ist einfach, welches von denen wählst du? Was möchtest du gerne? Schreib mal in den Chat rein, was du gerne haben würdest davon. Was wäre dein, ja, wo du sagst, da bin ich und da möchte ich gerne hin. Natürlich, ich denke, die meisten werden jetzt sagen, ich möchte gerne in den gehobenen Mittelstand, weil da hat man schon mal die Freiheit, mal sich vielleicht einfach mal einen Tag in der Woche freizunehmen, wenn man Lust hat, vielleicht auch mal eine Woche sich freizunehmen, wenn man Lust hat, oder auch mal einen Monat, weil man sich das gut organisiert hat. Es ist genügend Geld da, noch nicht übermäßig viel, es ist immer noch Arbeit dabei, aber das Leben ist schon ganz, ganz anders als im Hamsterrad 2. Da drüben sind ja schließlich dann auch nur circa 20% aller Menschen und ganz rechts bei Richard Branson wahrscheinlich etwa 3% von 100%. Na gut, lass uns mal gucken, was wir tun können. Wo gibt es eine echte Chancengleichheit? Du bist hier richtig, du bist genau am richtigen Ort, denn die Chancengleichheit gibt es ausschließlich hier im Network Marketing, oder ich wüsste nicht sehr viel anderes, wo du ohne große finanzielle Investitionen und ohne Risiko eine Chance hast, wie jeder andere auch. Da kann Richard Branson mit dir zusammen anfangen und du kannst erfolgreicher werden wie er, wenn du mehr tust wie er. Wahrscheinlich investiert Richard Branson in Network Marketing Companies, weil er natürlich schon das Geld dazu hat und weiter ist als wir, und das ist ja auch gut so. Network Marketing ist die Branche der Zukunft. Es ist eigentlich dein richtiges Fahrzeug. Du bist perfekt am richtigen Ort und es liegt wirklich jetzt nur an dir. Die Frage ist eigentlich die, vielleicht bist du ja schon lange dabei und ja, hast einfach nicht das erreicht, was du erreichen wolltest. Vielleicht hast du einfach nicht das erreicht, was du erreichen wolltest und fragst dich auch, warum ist das so? Warum bin ich nicht weiter? Weil du nach wie vor ein Leben für andere Menschen lebst. Du sorgst dafür heute mit dem, was du jeden Tag tust, dass irgendjemand den ganzen Tag frei machen kann, Ferien, Weltreise machen kann, ein tolles Leben hat. Dafür arbeitest du und opferst deine ganze Zeit, dein ganzes Leben, weil du nie bereit warst bisher, über genügend Schmerzen hinwegzugehen, genügend Freude, Power und Energie zu entwickeln, um ein Ziel zu sehen, das es dir wert war, zu erreichen und diese Situation zu ändern. Wir leben in einem Leben von 10.000 Ausreden, 10.000 Entschuldigungen. Aber was könnte ein Grund sein für dich, zu sagen, doch jetzt, heute, hier, jetzt am 13. Juli 2021, heute ist der Tag, an dem ich mein Leben, an dem ich mich entschieden habe, Ende Feuer, es geht jetzt los, ich will das nicht mehr, ich will ein schönes Leben haben und ja, dann tu es. Versuche ein Jahr lang mal, ein einziges Jahr lang alles zu geben. Ein einziges Jahr. Wie alt bist du heute? Wie viel ist ein Jahr? Ein Jahr ist viel, das weiß ich. Wenn du ein ganzes Jahr lang auf alles verzichten sollst, was du sonst an Faulenzen, an Freizeit, an Spaß, an Hobbys, an irgendwas bis jetzt für dich genutzt hast, was dich ja die ganzen letzten 10, 20, 30, 50, 70 Jahre nicht dahin gebracht hat, wo du hin wolltest, sondern dahin, wo du jetzt bist. Wieso kannst du nicht mal ein einziges Jahr investieren und sagen, hey, stopp, so blöd kann ich doch nicht sein, ich werde das jetzt tun. Ich wünsche es mir ganz, ganz fest für dich, weil bei uns im Network Marketing kannst du ein VIP werden. Ein VIP, ich bin ein VIP, weil ich Box-Champion war. Wenn ich durch die Straßen hier gehe, hat es immer Leute, die mich kennen, die mir winken, die mir zuzwinkern, die mir die Hand geben wollen. Viele, viele Leute bedanken sich bei mir, weil ich für sie ein Vorbild war in Sachen Durchhalten, niemals aufgeben, weitermachen. Ich hatte einen sehr beschwerlichen Weg und ich habe einfach nie aufgegeben. Und dafür bewundern die mich, sie sind mir dankbar und das macht mich extrem stolz. Und genau das kannst du jetzt machen. Wo kannst du denn sonst ein VIP werden? Du kannst meinetwegen bei Big Brother dich anmelden, vielleicht nehmen sie dich. Aber du weißt, was ich meine. Zusammen mit dieser riesigen, großartigen Unicity-Familie, globally, hast du die Chance in 60 Ländern dieser Welt, mein Europa reicht ja schon, etwas ganz, ganz Großes aufzubauen, was dich so stolz machen wird eines Tages. Was bei mir zudem noch passiert ist natürlich, ich habe meine große Liebe kennengelernt im ganzen Hartarbeiten drin. Ich habe wirklich hart gearbeitet. Ich habe in den ersten 3 Jahren 3000 Menschen gefragt, ob sie gerne bei Unicity mitmachen möchten. Rate mal, wie viele das mitgemacht haben. 63. Aber aus diesen 63 sind genügend Leute dazugekommen, die ich nicht gekannt habe, die dazu geführt haben, dass ich nach 4 Jahren Diamond werden konnte. Wir können hier Dinge erleben, die du nie erleben kannst. Ein VIP wird auf dem roten Teppich empfangen. Ein VIP wird an die schönsten Plätze der Welt entführt. Ein VIP darf hier zu Stuart Hughes auf seine riesige Ranch, wird verwöhnt, bedankt, beklatscht. Als VIP darfst du bei den großen Conventions über den roten Teppich gehen. Aber es fängt ja schon an bei deinem kleinen Event jetzt, wo du einen guten Rang machst. Die Leute klatschen, die Leute freuen sich für dich. Das ist einfach ein anderes Mindset, wie das, was du jetzt die letzten vielen Jahre hart in deinem Rucksack gebuckelt und gemacht hast und gedacht hast, es wäre richtig und gut. Natürlich war es richtig und gut. Du hast so lange überlebt. Die Frage ist jetzt einfach, willst du weiterhin so überleben? Willst du schwarz-weiß, wie das Bild hier auf der rechten Seite zeigt, bisschen trüb, bisschen rauchig, einfach bisschen Mittelmaß, vielleicht nicht mal Mittelmaß, vielleicht machst du dir vor, es sei gut, oder willst du zurück zu deinen Träumen, die du mal hattest, jung, wild, powerful? Wir haben alle Produkte dazu, um jung, wild und powerful zu sein. Was ist passiert? Was ist passiert? Wann willst du es beweisen, dass du es kannst? Wann willst du es dir beweisen, dass das Leben nicht dich bestimmt, sondern dass du das Leben bestimmt? Du sitzt in der Falle und du weißt das ganz genau. Ich möchte nicht jede Person persönlich hier ansprechen. Wir haben ja auch Diamonds dabei und erfolgreiche Führungskräfte. Aber ich würde sagen, 95% von allen, die hier zuhören, sitzen ganz dick in der Tinte. Wie gesagt, 10.000 Ausreden, 10.000 Entschuldigungen, 10.000 Selbstlügen. Und das hast du nicht bewusst gemacht. Das hat sich einfach eingeschlichen, ist passiert. Man ist enttäuscht von sich selber und nochmal und wieder und ich habe es wieder nicht geschafft und schon wieder ein Jahr rum und ich weiß, ich habe es versprochen, habe es nicht gehalten. Ja, ich wollte pünktlich sein, bin zu spät. Ja, ich habe aufgestreckt, als ich gesagt habe, und wer will, habe es nicht gemacht. Und. Wenn ich ein WhatsApp kriege, ja, ich sollte antworten, ich weiß, ich mach's dann, mach's nie. Wo ist denn die Person geblieben, die du mal warst? Wo ist die Person geblieben, die mal voller Hoffnung, voller Power, voller Großartigkeit, riesige Träume, Spaß, Visionen und die ganze Welt gehörte dir. Du konntest alles werden und du kannst das immer noch. Nichts ist schlimmer als Überleben und gefangen im Mittelmaß. Du hast schon lange aufgegeben, aber du stellst dich dir selber einfach nicht. Du gehst dir aus dem Weg, weil sonst würdest du ja weinen. Sonst würdest du dich ja schämen, du würdest traurig sein. Deine Leute um dich herum, die sind alle gleich. Man ist in der Menge drin. Es geht so, man trinken wir ein bisschen mehr, wir machen ein bisschen mehr Party. Gott sei Dank war wieder Fußball jetzt, dann ist alles gut. Man kann das alles vergessen, muss darüber nicht nachdenken, was eigentlich wirklich wichtig wäre für sein eigenes Leben. Weißt du, ich glaube, du hast nie erkannt oder man hat dir das nie gesagt, dass du die einzig wichtige Person in deinem Leben bist. Ich glaube, du lebst dein Leben für deine Frau, für deinen Mann, für deine Kinder sowieso. Das ist auch verständlich, dass du da eine gewisse Zeitspanne für die Kinder alles gibst. Aber es gibt solche, die mit 35 noch sagen, meine Tochter ist meine beste Freundin, weil einfach nichts anderes wichtig ist wie das. Du hast vergessen, dass du die einzig wichtige Person bist in deinem Leben, denn du bist ganz alleine auf die Welt gekommen und du wirst ganz alleine sterben. Und an diesem Tag, wo du gehen wirst, wo du weitergehen wirst, wirst du alles mit dir abrechnen, was du in einem ganzen Leben nicht getan hast. Warum du Angst hattest, warum du zu feige warst, warum du zu faul warst, warum du dich mit Ausreden und Lügen und so weiter. Ich möchte das nicht weiter da jetzt reinstecken. Ich möchte sagen, Network Marketing ist eine große Chance. Nutze Network Marketing jetzt. Schau doch, dass du aus dem Hamsterrad rauskommst. Ein einziges Jahr ist das, was ich von dir verlange. Ein einziges Jahr. Such dir einen Trainer, Denkst du, ich wäre Nummer 1 der Welt geworden, wenn ich nicht Leute gehabt hätte, die mich geführt hätten? Ich musste tausende Male die gleiche Übung, weil sie nicht so sein soll und nicht so sein soll. Und sie muss ganz genau, exakt so sein. Und bis du das kannst, brauchst du lange, lange, lange. Und je mehr du bei uns übst, schau dir mein Trainer, das hier ist Hector Roca, der Trainer, den ich in New York hatte, der hat mir bei jeder Gelegenheit, hat er mir eine geklatscht. Wann immer er konnte, ich ein bisschen zu tief war, hatte ich eine, weil er mich gern hatte, weil er nicht wollte, dass ich draußen die Schläge bekomme, wenn es drauf ankommt. Er wollte mir die Schläge jetzt geben, damit ich besser aufpasse, damit ich besser werde, damit ich stärker werde, schneller werde, damit ich endlich mich auf die Sache konzentriere. Warum bin ich überhaupt hier und was tue ich denn hier eigentlich? Ich verblöde nicht einfach meine Zeit, ich tue fokussiert, konzentriert das, was mich weiterbringt. Und keine Ausreden. Folge einem Mentor. Wir haben hier in Europa genügend Double Diamonds, Diamonds, Presidentials, Führungskräfte auf kleineren Rängen, die total fähig sind. Und die Company ist so stark geworden. Die Company, mit den Produkten haben wir keinen einzigen Mitbewerber. Ich sage, wir sind der Benchmark in Products. Ich meine das so. Und jeder Inhaber von Mitbewerberfirmen, die wüssten das. Natürlich sagen sie es ihren Leuten nicht, ist auch nicht wichtig, aber du hast das Fahrzeug und du kannst es dir jetzt beweisen. Jetzt ist deine Zeit. Die Zeit ist reif, deine Träume jetzt zu leben. Ich habe es geschafft im Sport und ich habe es geschafft bei Unicity. Und ich sage dir eines, wenn ich das kann, dann kannst du das auch. Ich hatte vielleicht den Vorteil aus meiner Jugend, dass wir immer zu wenig Geld hatten. Wir hatten immer zu wenig Geld. Ich hatte eine schöne Jugend, so, man hat viel für uns getan, aber ich durfte nicht im Restaurant nicht bestellen, was ich wollte. Unser Auto hatte ein Loch im Boden, da musste ein Teppich drauf. In der Nacht hat es ins Haus reingeregnet. Im Winter mussten wir warme Jacken anziehen, weil Schnee inwendig vom Fenster war. Einfach, das hat mich damals sehr motiviert, niemals ein solches Leben haben zu wollen für meine Kinder. Ich wollte niemals meinen Kindern zumuten, dass sie, auch wenn es schön war, ich wusste, es gibt mehr, es gibt Besseres und es steht mir zu und es steht dir zu. Was könntest du tun? Wie kannst du es jetzt tun, dass du das genauso hinbekommst wie ich? Was triggert dich? Was ist es, was dich nach vorne bringen würde jetzt? Weil ich hatte null Talent zum Boxen, null Talent, auch nicht die Konstitution dazu. Und ich hatte keine Ahnung von Network Marketing und es gab in der Schweiz nichts. Wir haben alles Learning by Doing, umfallen, aufstehen, umfallen, aufstehen, umfallen, aufstehen. Im Network Marketing tut es ja nicht weh, im Boxen früher tat es tatsächlich weh. Ich möchte, dass du dir jetzt mal überlegst, währenddem ich hier nachher diesen Film laufen lasse, der dauert 2,5 Minuten, wie dein Leben sein könnte, wie du dich fühlen würdest, wenn. Du musst nicht boxen, aber es ist genau das Gleiche. Du fängst an, stark zu werden im Network Marketing. Du fängst an, Follower zu finden. Der Erste wird sich dir anschließen, die Erste wird sich dir anschließen, dann ein Zweiter, dann ein Dritter, dann gibt es ein kleines Team, dann gibt es mehrere Events. Ich lasse das mal laufen. Oh. Wir? Ja, es geht nicht. Da. Läuft nicht.
Nein.
Hm. Nee, ich muss mich nicht rechtfertigen. Es läuft einfach nicht. Assistentin.
Assistentin.
Liebe Assistentin, bitte Assistentin.
Aber was hast du denn gemacht?
Nicht.
Ist immer das Gleiche mit dir.
Es ist nie auf Zoom gelaufen bis jetzt.
Doch, wir haben es probiert mit der Lena.
Weiß, kann man als Reto? Nochmal als Reto?
Okay. Es geht gar nicht mehr. So. Okay. Sorry, Leute.
Also in der Probe lief's.
Ja. Aber
Vielleicht
Sie
kann
kennen
ich
sicher
nachher
den
den Link noch schnell in den Chat reinstellen. Das könnte Bettina oben machen, ja?
Okay, I do it.
Danke vielmals. Was ich dir einfach sagen möchte, Rocky ist ein Movie. Aber Rocky widerspiegelt das Leben des kleinen Mannes. Und der kleine Mann kann der ganz große Mann sein. Ich war ein kleiner Mann. Wir waren alle kleine Männer, kleine Girls, als wir Teenager waren. Und wir wussten damals, ich werde Prinzessin, Pilot, Feuerwehrmann, irgendwas und alles war möglich. Und ich sage dir einfach eines, es ist immer noch genau das Gleiche. Und die Einzige, die das verhindern kann, dass das passiert, das bist du. Und damit soll jetzt Schluss sein. Ich möchte, dass du dir Hilfsmittel suchst, die dich dran halten, das Jahr durchzustehen. Zum Beispiel, wenn du diesen Rocky-Song jetzt hören würdest, die Musik. Wir haben oft mit Rocky-Musik trainiert. Musik ist ein sensationeller Anker. Wenn du einen Song hast, der dich sofort in eine Stimmung versetzt, wenn du keine Lust hast, müde bist, kaputt bist, aber vielleicht darf das auch eine Abfolge von tollen Songs sein, die dich begeistern. Ich merke das selber, wenn ich auf Spotify eine Liste zusammensetze, wo meine Lieder drauf sind aus meiner Zeit. Da bin ich am Träumen, da bin ich jung, da ist alles möglich, da kommen neue Gefühle, die früher mal alle da waren. Und ich möchte, dass du stolz auf dich sein wirst, wenn du mal stirbst. Das ist das einzig Wichtige in deinem Leben. Alles andere kommt und geht und du kannst es nicht beeinflussen. Kinder verlassen dich, Kinder können sich von dir distanzieren, mit dir nie mehr was zu tun haben wollen. Du wirst nicht mal erfahren, warum. Da kann ein Partner, eine Partnerin, irgendwas kann passieren, aber du ganz alleine bleibst mit dir immer ganz alleine. Du bist immer da, du bist für dich da und du sollst kraftvoll, powervoll durch die Produkte sein und du sollst kraftvoll, powervoll durch eine große Vision sein nach vorne. Und es ist so, dass du einfach dich selber ins Gebet nehmen sollst jetzt. Hau dir mal eine rein. Sag mal, es ist jetzt Ende mit der Lebenslüge, die ich jetzt seit Jahren vor mir herschiebe. Ich ändere das jetzt, weil ich es kann. Und du siehst, es wird oft schwierig sein, anstrengend sein. Das Jahr wird der Horror für dich. Aber ich verspreche dir, heute in einem Jahr, am 13. Juli 2022, wirst du ein 5-stelliges Einkommen haben. Einfach so, weil du es getan hast und dein Leben wird anders sein. Die Leute werden dich lieben, deine Familie, deine Kinder, alle werden stolz auf dich sein. Alle werden dich bewundern rundherum und vor allem wirst du selber glücklich sein. Das wünsche ich dir von ganzem Herzen. Melde dich gleich jetzt und zwar gleich jetzt bei der Person, mit der du das zusammen machen willst, von der du willst, der gibst du ein Versprechen ab und du gibst dir und dieser Person ein Versprechen ab, das dir so wichtig ist, dass du es nicht brechen wirst, weil du dich sonst wirklich schämen würdest. Gib das Versprechen ab, dass du ab heute ein Jahr lang alles gibst, um die Person zu werden, die du wirklich gerne wärst, nämlich der Held aus deiner Jugend. Und damit ist Schluss für heute. Ich bedanke mich herzlich, dass ich da sein konnte und ich wünsche dir ein riesiges Lächeln auf deinem Gesicht, dass es jetzt losgeht und auch dann, wenn das Jahr herum ist.
Vielen Dank, Stefan. Thank you so much, Stefan. Merci beaucoup, Stefan, pour tes mots. Danke für deine Inspiration und dass du so einen Teil deines Lebens mit uns geteilt hast. Vielen Dank dafür. Wer möchte jetzt nur nächsten 5 Minuten benutzen? Oh, sorry, let's switch back to English. I'm gonna end up that call with next 5 minutes very quick on a few information that are important for you, also regarding what we have done in the newsletter. So let me remind you that each of you should have received such a card. I want to share that card with you because it's a card that has a purpose. It's to remind you that we have that offer, but on the other side, it's a card that you can send to somebody else. Use that chance to send that to one of your friends, to introduce someone to this great product. As you can see, it's all prepared. There's all the information about the product and recommended by. You can put your referral code, your ID number on there, so use that. Then we have also this great new product. Unimate Lemon is there, it's here, it's available here in Europe, so you can purchase that product. We launched it on the 26th of June in an event that we had that you can review if you want to, also on our YouTube channel. We also have the past months where we had Bone Fortify, we had recorded also an event, and you can go back and listen to it if you want to get this information. So on our YouTube channel, really, you'll find all of this information. Then here is the you don't see the link, but if you go in the newsletter, you'll find that. Click on this blue button where it says videos, and there you can find those past videos as well as the new video. Use those, go on there, download them, use them for your own marketing. Use that, as Stefan said, in your yearly achievement you want to have. Work on it every day. Use those videos. Think about those people who you can help with, right? So listen to them. Try to find out what they need, where they are in their life, and send them those videos. As I mentioned earlier, those videos are in the 3 main languages. Then we have also the reward trip, as Stefan mentioned, as a VIP. You are invited to some of those events, and the next event will be near the Lago di Lugano, close Switzerland, just at the border of Italy. We look forward to going there if you have qualified. The qualification ends this month, so if you're close, if you haven't qualified yet, no worries. Work with your upline to qualify as a director this month, and you will be invited for all those rank events. The qualification are, as you can see on there, all the details are in the newsletter. We look forward to having you there in September. Then we also launched this Make Life Better box. On the 26th, it's available. If you go to the shop, if you call us on our customer service, we have all of the information for you. We have not just this awesome box for you to share the best of Unicity, just from the taste and for those great products that we have. And as you can see, 2 samples in there are the Matcha Energy, but we also have prepared some packs for you to go with that, and work with your leader here in Europe as well. They've been part of this process. Now, we also have information in our newsletter, as I've mentioned in our call on the 26th, on our event, the best of event. We had over 4,000 new directors in the last year. And here you can see some new presidential diamonds. So go get inspired, as you've been inspired today by Stefan. Get inspired by those testimonials and quick read through what they have done and what brought them there. I think the most important, each of them have a different reason, right, for why they do something and what motivates them. So this is also part of the newsletter. Now, one of the important part is we would like you to be informed about what is happening, and you to invite other people to also be part of this great community. And to do so, we have a few social media locations or platform that we are using. Starting from the left, as you can see, we have our Facebook page where you can go on there, subscribe to it. Our events are posted there. This will allow you to be reminded when something happened. The second one is our Instagram As you can see, we're posting a lot of information on there. Also subscribe there if you want to know what's happening. Then our YouTube channel, maybe you haven't seen it the last couple of weeks, a month, we have changed a little bit the layout. We have reorganized our page. We love that great picture up there of an event where you can see how powerful Unicity is. And then we have cut this information underneath in different kind of playlists. There's a playlist about products. There's a playlist about the event that we have right now will be placed in there. We also have a playlist about our athletes. We have a playlist about our products. So go out there and subscribe to it, and you can click the doorbell, so to say, to receive reminders. That's what we want to. We want you to receive this information on time. And lastly, on the right side, if you're interested of wearing some gear with Unicity logo on there, we're working with another company that does that. So you can have a sweater, a t-shirt, or other items for you to be a branded person, right? To carry the brand out that you love so much. So this is pretty much it for us today. The last thing is I want to invite you to our next event. And our next event will be in September, and it will be on September the 14th. So please mark that in your calendar. You will receive a reminder, as we did a few days ago for this event, in the newsletter. It'll be posted in all of our social media. Again, it will be in English, in French, and German, always with all of those translations. And one last big event that we're planning to have is the convention, and I'll end up with this slide for the convention. So you also have the date, so you can reserve that date, which will be on the 25th of September. I hope you participated in our last big event, the Best of event on June 26th. If you haven't, go look back on our channel. It was a great event, working conjunction worldwide, where we had presenters from pretty much everywhere. So we're here to support you. We appreciate your time tonight. Thank you again in the background. I want to thank you, Lena. Thank you, Lena, for organizing that, for being in the background, making sure that the presenters can present. They have the right to do so, that the translators are set in the right area so we can hear the right language. Thank you, Leila, for doing this first time with us here in Europe in English. It's amazing to hear from you and to profit from your background. Thank you, Dr. Glynn, also for being here with us and for sharing with us this key principle of metabolic health, which is so important for us. Thank you also, Stefan, for sharing your life with us and what you have learned through a punch, as you just shown, and we can all learn from you. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you to translators also in the background for doing this with us and making sure that everybody understands. So I'll wish you now a great evening, a great month of July, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
I'll tell you just the reason why. Keep your head up high, will get you going. Stop your rainy day, we'll push all of your clouds away. Keep you strong and healthy, you can do it. You need feel so good. I feel so good. I feel so good.